Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. Endurance Ugiagbe, they talk about leadership. He say no leadership can do well without the support of the people. Make I leave you now, make you hear from Endurance Ugiagbe. Enjoy the video.
Humble greetings to everyone out there. I trust we are doing great wherever we are right now. I am going to be talking on some few things that has to do with leadership. And at the end of it all, we will get to learn more on leadership defense, which is very, very important. No leadership can do well without the support of the people. And from the look of things today, our leadership is going through a lot of unnecessary criticism and attack. And there is no way we can expect leadership to strive well when they have been attacked. I will be talking based on experience, not empiricism, because I've been a leader. And time has come for us to place our experiences into work. Time has come for us to employ our experiences and our understanding to do what we know we can do to fix what is not right among us. Have led troops as the head of Anticourt when I was in the university. I faced a lot I did not do, a lot I did not know anything about. One day I came back from my lecture. I was so tired. I needed to rest. Immediately I got to the barracks because I have to go through the office before I get to my room. I saw so many cases. And the intelligence officer, my IO, called me that there are some he will want me to handle. I told him, I am very tired. So I went inside. It was not quite long. My ADC came to my room and told me that there is a particular case he would want me to listen to. I told him, but I told you I'm very tired. He said, please, sir. Because a very student took his time to explain to the ADC. So I told him, all right, bring the young boy and the young girl to my room. Because the young guy came with a lady. Because I don't want to come out so that others will not see that they've been disenfranchised. They got into the room. Immediately the young man got into my room. I asked them to sit down, but the young man just lay down, using his two hands to grab my two legs, was crying upon me, and the young lady as well. Sir, please, I'm very sorry, sir. Sir, please, I'm very, very sorry, sir. What I have done, if you hear it, I know you will not be happy, sir. I said, you are embarrassing me. Stand up. The young man refused to stand up until my ADC had to help him. Stood him up and I asked him, sit down, don't worry. No matter what it is, tell me, you are here now. I sat down, the young girl sat down. My ADC was with us. He said, sir, I have done something very wrong. I said, what is that thing? He said that he was caught having sex with his girlfriend in the classroom during the cold time. I smiled. It's true that I had it as part of us, the Anticourt, that my boys must go for night class because myself, I do good for night class. And in every night classroom, I must make sure that at least we have up to about 4 or 5 of my boys also reading their books and also there to rescue any attack against any student. Because sometimes some people used to come, snatch phones from students from the night classroom. So I structured it in such a way that my boys must also be going for night classes and they must be ready to rescue any attack. Then one of my boys who was in the night class during the cool time chose to go out on a patrol and actually met this very young guy and the girl. The both of them they were having it during the cool time. He used his phone, he snapped them, he victimized them. The young boy told me he demanded for the sum of 10,000 naira, which he transferred to him. I said, good. He said, right now, he's not demanding for sex from his girlfriend. I laughed. I said, so because he's demanding sex, that's why you have to now take the risk to come down to report yourself. But you couldn't come to report yourself when he asked for 10,000. You gave him because you had the money. Punity love. Good morning. I said, no problem. I told the young girl, don't ever accept whatever he's asking you to give to him. I know it's against your will. That's why you told your boyfriend. And your boyfriend decided to take this step. I did not punish them. I asked them to go. When my boy was back from lecture, my ADC called him. I picked up his phone from him. He has deleted the credit alert. But when I went through his photo, his gallery, I saw the nude picture and the video. He used the same nude picture to collect the 10,000, also wants to use it to have sex with the boy's girlfriend. I collected the phone, I deleted the nude pictures, and I told him, what about the 10,000 the young boy gave to you? He said, sir, he's so sorry that he needed to report this case earlier before now. I said, that is not the case now. You have been handling this case on your own for over 1 week now. You've collected the sum of 10,000. You allotted it to yourself, and that is not even our procedure in handling such matter. You are not demanding sex from the girl. I told him to go to the ATM. He went, he brought out 10,000. I called the young man and the young girl. Right in his presence, I gave them the 10,000 and told the young girl, anytime he sees you and he disturbs you, anytime he sees you, the guy, and he tends to disturb you because he is this, is that, just report. Take my number. I gave them my number. You see, if that young man had never had the courage to come to meet me, the young man will have every right at any time to even see me on the road and say, stupid people. It was not quite long. One of the senior staff in the university called me. He was hollering on phone. He said, I should report to his office immediately. We are doing nonsense with this thing called anti-court. I went to the office. Immediately I got to the office, other students were there. I was bastardized. The man was shouting, was insulting me. This is what you people are doing. After talking and embarrassing me, I saw my boy there. I was quiet. And the reason I was quiet was this. I've been getting a lot of ugly reports from my boy, about my boys. I have handled ugly situations that my boys have caused me. So I kept quiet. I just knew that it was a bad day already. That whatever that might have made this man to be shouting and very angry like this must be something very bad. I was just only looking at my boy at that office. In that office, pardon me. Then after the man was done, I begged him to please let me know what is the problem. Because all this while I got to his office, it was just all about insult. So I begged him to tell me what is the bone of contention. He now asked the young girl to tell me what is going on. The young girl brought her phone, showed me the threat messages. My boy talked to her and she doesn't want. And my boy was now trying to force her to date him. Something that is against the girl's will. because he happens to be a man who was anti-court in the university. Nonsense things. I was embarrassed. I look at the messages. I apologized to the man. And I told him I would like to register this case. Because even when my boys age, they must go through the same procedure any other student in the school must go through. I said, we need to register this in the office, and I don't mind if you join us. The man said, no problem. The girl can go with me and my boy to the office to put down a statement that he will join us later. You see, if that young girl never had a senior staff as a brother, the young man might have forced her against her will and been molesting her. The girl can, because of that trauma and emotion, lost focus in her studies. But I thank God that she was having somebody she could cry down to. Because many of them were not having the courage to come to meet me. And so many times, some can't even meet me. Very difficult. And myself, I have a lot of responsibility attached to myself. I was studying like them. I go to classes like them. I must write my exams like them. There was no professional treatment given to me that I have to write my exam as at whenever I feel. No. As at the time other students are writing just, I must. Sometimes students will be causing problem in one department. My department is about to write quiz. I have to fight hard, run hard, set out my patrol teams and the other officers to handle the situation before I will go back. Sometimes before I get back to the class, I might just end up answering just one question or two. My papers will be collected. No lecturer will say, because you are head of anti-court, we should give you more time. No. So because of that, I try as much as possible to do my own personal obligations. Because the certificate or the recommendation I will get as the head of anti-court will only be very valuable when I have a proper and when I have a good certificate from my own studies. So when we got to the barracks, I called the ROSM. We all have it as part of our constitution. Before I joined the same Manowar anti-court group in the year 2008, I read it. If you edge, the way and manner you will be drilled, how your matter will be treated. So immediately we got to the barracks. I told the ROSM that this young man has edged. Before this senior staff of the school came down to the barracks to know how we are handling the case, the guy was already soaked and he was undergoing his drilling. The man came. He was shocked. He looked at the guy. It was the guy. He was shocked. He said, GOC, is this how you intend to handle the matter? I said, this is how we handle our matter. Before any other thing. He signed it with his own hand. I told the man to come to the office. He shouldn't worry. He was right in the office. He was still hearing the drilling outside. Because my RSM was so good that when he's drilling you, it will seem as if you have a personal problem with him. You the mad. Oh yeah, they roll. No, they give us bad name. Because that is what it means. The man couldn't stand it. He begged me right from the office before I came out and I told them Azwaya. The young girl registered a case. And the case went to the management. Because it is not part of us. We were not asked to operate like that. So people usually come into an office and they get to see what they can use the opportunity for. Some can use it for personal gains. Some will not even use it for the right purpose the office is meant for. So even as a leader, even with all this, anyone that comes to me, I must handle them very well. And that was where I got credit from a lot of students and lecturers, even staff of the school. Because my stand in every matter always shows that I stand on the right path. But so many other people who my boys offended did a lot of things to, because I had wolves. Part of my boys. Wolves. You get to hear some certain things. You'll be amazed. I had boys who even use guns to collect funds from students. Sometimes we hear robbery is taking place. We'll get there. We'll find out that our boys are the one. I did not send them. I've never done such before them. So many of my boys were caught vandalizing the properties of the school. I did not send them. And each time these things happen, it even got to a time that I was almost like, let me drop this thing. It was too much. There were many cases I could not supervise. There were so many cases I could not handle. Because myself, I had my own responsibilities. I have to read. I have to go for my exams. I have to make sure that I get good credit from the school. Austin here, my family is doing very great, and yours. So my people, the time has come for us to begin to learn to defend leadership. Because so many people we have there, they don't know anything about most ugly things we are seeing around the offices. So many things happened during my time as the head of Anti-Court. Things I never discussed with any of my boys or officers. Sometimes they bring cases to me. I tell them, I don't have the chance. You just go and handle it. Sometimes they will bring report to me. I will not even have the chance to go through the report. I will just only ask them, what is in the report? The case is over? And they'll tell me, yes, the case is over. Sometimes you will just be surprised that students who have that courage will still come down to me to report the case that is still lingering, which somebody has told me he has just quenched. Meanwhile, he has taken bribe for one party. So the reason why we need to be very patient is this. To reach every leadership is not an easy thing. And there's every tendency for something to be happening around leadership we created or we are submitting to, without the very person representing us knowing. The thing will be happening, but it's not part of it. But for the fact that he's the one we know as the leader, we always say, this person is a bad person. Because after all, he selected his administrators, right? Yes. Now coming to the people the administrators selected to work with you. Like myself, when I got into power, I have to get people who want to work with me. I chose them based on the little background check I have on them. And the people I had were the best people. The best people. But despite they were best people to me, I still got so many ugly situations from them. We don't pray for anything bad in life. So many of us used to date a woman. We look at the woman good enough to marry. We even marry and put in our house. Sometimes something will happen. They say, for as much you are the leader, you must supervise. You must supervise. If you check so many marriages today, many happened in a way that sometimes a wife you put in the house you so much trust will be having an affair outside without you knowing. For so many times. For so long. Only for it to just occur to you one day. That thing will be happening. And people outside who might know who did not tell you will be telling you, useless man. His wife is going outside, sleeping with other men. He's still there. No fit pursue him for house. They don't know you don't know. But the same woman is in your house. She sleeps in in the same bed with you. Yet she will be doing something you don't know. So it is very possible for you to have administrators working under you as a leader without you being able to know everything they are doing with the office given to them. So many will be using the office for their own personal gains. Our leadership has been bastardized enough. We need to be patient with our leadership and to defend our leadership. It is the message I bring before us this morning. Because as a leader, I went through a lot. One day, when I was still in Enugu as a general, I went outside with 2 of my ADCs. We were in that gathering. When we were done, we were set to go. Some few numbers of young men went down to a very isolated place to wait for us. Immediately we got there, they surrounded us. We were just 3 in number. And these people were up to 10. My boys were set. Myself, I was set. I look at the scenario. I told my boys, easy. And I told the young men, what can we do for you? And they say, now they do anyhow. If you're not inside school, now they do anyhow well. With this man who want to cause something when they give you. Now they do anyhow. Cotland said, my brother, don't be offended. Me, I don't do anyhow for you. Me, I don't offend you. He said, no, you never offend me. He said, but many of your boys, they do anyhow. So lucky, there were so many among the people that very guy constricted to come and fight us who were reasonable. One of them I said, oh, you mean say no be these ones beat you? He said no. He said, but na then be the man who won, na then be the anti-court. I said, my brother, don't involve me in any personal matter. For as much as I don't have personal issues with you, if you do this thing to us, you have done us wrong. For we have never done you anything wrong. If you know whoever that has offended you, even as at now, come to my office and tell me. For as much what that person did to you is wrong, I must see to it for justice to prevail. The other guys began to discourage others to say, bros, make you no verse. At the end, we had a handshake and we shared pleasantry and then left. And one of the friends assured me that he would send the boy to still come down to my office so that he would show me that very boy. That one of the boys, among my boys. I said, no problem. And at the time, the young man came. He came. I reported this case. He was putting on some colors and my boy said he's a cultist and all of that. Okay, fine. You said he's a cultist. You never brought the boy to the office. You went and seizing the boy's phone for almost about 2 days until the young guy came to collect it with 5,000. With the sum of 5,000. The 5,000 you did not account to the house. The 5,000 I did not eat. But I almost lost my life for it. Leadership is something so very tactical and very stupendous beyond our imaginations. We all know the constituted authorities we have. We need at this time to begin to rethink and retrace our footsteps into defending leadership. Because there are so many cases we do here that might seem so very clear. And because our leaders are not really doing what we feel they should do, we can easily just jump upon it and begin to bastardize our leaders. And mind us, no leader can do beyond his own capacity. That we have people in authority does not mean they know it all. There are so many we can come together to say, no, this is how it's supposed to be done. And once the majority comes together to say yes, no leader can tell you no. Look at Sapele Road today. It's being constructed by the state government, a federal road. Because people came together and said, no, if the road is not bad, then why are we using it? That is how it works. If everybody sit back to continue to say, this state government, they are stupid, they are useless, federal, they are useless, and all, we will just keep saying it on social media, keep saying it and insulting them. Things are still spoiling. The ones that they cannot do that we know they're supposed to do, we can come together and tell them, hey, the resources belong to the states. The resources belong to the federation. Bring it out. Let's use it to do this thing. So we need to re-strategize. I know so many of us will not still understand this, but I'm talking to those who have the same experience with me, and those who have the same understanding with me. There is every tendency you've never gone through any experience, but you have a proper understanding about what I'm saying. So the time has come. If there are people who want to stand on that side to be criticizing and be destroying what the leadership is doing, we that understand what leadership is all about needs to also stand to defend. I know most times it's hard for us, because sometimes people will say, they don't settle now. Stomach infrastructure. Yes, they chop from them. Yes, you people are gaining from them. But they will not understand that you are doing what you know is right. So I don't think it's reasonable enough for us to shy away supporting our leadership, because people usually feel they are paying you. They are your masters. We have been so cold. Most times these leaders need people to talk to. Sometimes these leaders, they need group to talk to. They need group to work with. No group to work with, because no one believes in them. No one trusts them. Everyone is just criticizing them. We are just isolating them. But we selected them. We elected them. We know that this is a constituted leadership, but yet we chose to be away from them. And we are expecting things to be done overnight. We must be part of the process, whether we like it or not. Except we have no leader, then there should be no support. But if we have leaders, there should be support. So I'm encouraging so many of us who understand this thing today not to shy away. You might just start supporting today. You will hear ugly something tomorrow. You shouldn't give up. Don't give up. Nobody will sit in any position all through before the person will leave without a policy that people, even you yourself, will not agree to, will not come up. Yes, it will come up. But we must look into all these things statically before we begin to handle them. So many people, they are on the path to destroy, not to build. And it is true that a lot of wrong things are happening within the areas of the leadership we have. We know. And that is why these people criticizing and bastardizing our leadership, they have upper hand. Because they will always come and give you proof. But most of these things done by the administrators. The very leader we believe in might not even know anything about it. But we will use the whole thing to stain all of them. I almost died for what I did not know anything about. I almost died because I just happened to be a leader of a group. I almost died for the sin of another man. It was only through the grace of God. Only through the grace of God. Because if na normal beating, those 10 people won't beat us. The beating no go do us anything. But if you can't involve knife, you can't involve gun, you can't involve 2x2, we can't survive it. But if it is beating, nothing when you go hit us when you go enter. Because who don't strong. We know what we will go through for recruitment. But if it comes to the case of gun, knife, 2x2, you can't survive it. That's why they knife 2x2 for a head, better one. Like 5 times. You can't stand it. But if I just smoke, we just use and do one. Not when those people go fit do person when go off person. So it is well, my people. We need to stand strong to defend leadership. It is not an easy task. Oh, guys, Ferdinand General, you know what I'm talking about. You know a lot we suffered. You know the game. We suffered it. We suffered it. You will just go hard just for the fact that somebody know you are a man who anti-cult group in the school. You come outside. You not do the person to, but another anti-cult person, I do the person something. You go collect. It takes the grace of God. If you are bold enough and you can talk to calm people down. Because my two ADC that were with me, they were ready to fight. May I don't look and say, which fight you won't fight here? You don't know whether they have gun. You don't know whether they have stabbing knife. You just came for a peaceful something without anything on us. Whatever we have, we don't have the audacity to bring it out from the university, from that environment. You have to leave everything there. So we follow the rules. We are good patriotics. So the best thing is to use diplomacy. And it worked. That's why we are alive today. That is why myself I'm alive today. If not, person for don't be dead meat for long ago. So every leadership must be defended. We must understand this. We must. There are people who just rise up against leadership. They don't like that leadership. They don't like. No matter how much that leadership works, they don't like it. They must find something. And some is for good. Yes, some people must have to be on the path to say, hey, you are not doing well, so that to boost you up. But some criticism we see today, if you look at them very well, many has just gelled towards destroying the whole thing. Just to destroy the whole thing. So that's the kind of criticism I'm talking about. But for those who understand this thing, we still also need to be on the path of defending our leadership. This leadership, they need people to work with. They need people to talk to. They need to be encouraged to see people talking to their head, talking to encourage them, talking for them to know that, yes, they have people. I know how much strength I was having in me when I got to know so many numbers of students who knows what I stands for, who knows what importance I am of in the university. I was so much encouraged. So many students will come to me and say, you are doing well, God will bless you. Even with all your studies, you're running around like every one of us, like students. You will still have time to come and do this thing. God will bless you, my brother. God will bless you. You see, we are not schooling. Nothing like a court war. Nobody is going home for strike and all those things. Thank you, my brother. God will. I know many fellowship in the school. The president will organize prayers. They will call me. I will come to the crusade ground. They will pray upon my head. All those prayers worked for me because they saw my administration. So many of them do come to me. We talk one-on-one as leaders. They've seen my strategies. They have not come to know my kind of person. I never had any issue personally with anybody because I'm the GOC in the university. No. Start telling you, I will show you. I never had any. Issues I had, and I was going about solving, issues created by students and my boys. The thing not enter my head because I just knew I was a servant. I was just opportune to serve. I focused on the objectives. I did not focus on the power. My records are still there till today. So because I know this, that is why I am stepping out today to encourage as many of us who knows about this thing I'm talking about. Who knows about this thing I'm talking about? We need to please stand up to defend our leadership. Let us make a move towards them. Let them know they have people. We are not moving towards them for them to be weak or cold. We are moving towards them to encourage them more, to do more. So may the Lord bless us all. Leadership is not an easy task. When you get there, you will know. May the Lord bless us.
Now we don't hear from Endurance Ugiagbe. Let us know what you think for comment section. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe so that make you for the hear all the things where they happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you now with this video, make you help us share am. Thank you for watching Dan AIG YouTube.